Azealia Banks, who you may know positively or negatively, she seems to always get in some beef or another, but this is not that kind of story. She posted on her Instagram something where she maintains she was, in her words, low-key raped. And let's just play the video of what she posted on her Instagram.
To the point where you feel like you gave consent, but you didn't give shit. You know, you never wanted to do shit, and then there you are, just like feeling like powerless. Somebody really just got the best of me, and I'm just like so unsure of how they got it.
Super intense. And then she also posted, this is the one thing with graphic elements that she put on. What is even in a roofie? I've never felt that time of intoxication in my life. And then she went on after that. I woke up, my throat was in pins and needles, real intense. I mean, what do you do when you hear this? What's your take on what went down?
Has she since taken down the voicemail type?
Yes.
Yeah,
she deleted all of that.
Right. So a third party was able to obtain that, and that's the part of the video that we were listening to. And you guys, did we all listen to the full thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really, really troubling because it feels like you're listening to a phone call. You know what I mean? Because it's just black, and then it's just her voice. And you know, she is imploring even her fans. She's saying, if either of you guys know my management or this or that, can you please tell someone to pick me up? So it doesn't even sound like she's at home. Someone come get me. She's really confused, and it's so raw.
And it's very unlike her to be that vulnerable. She always comes off as this really strong, powerful, independent person. So to hear her sound so vulnerable and hurt really is troubling. And I think that, we were talking before we started filming that, when she first came out with her EPs and her albums, we all loved her. And then we noticed sort of a shift in her behavior, and she was coming at other artists, saying really, really hurtful, mean things. So clearly there's, she's a very troubled, tormented individual, but to hear this happen to her, it's really, really sad.
There's an element of it where she says that she's like ashamed and embarrassed. Yeah. She feels partially responsible, which doesn't seem like it is what, when you read these stories and when you hear testimonies and people's accounts, like you should not feel that way.
But that's I'm sorry guys, but the shame and the responsibility, that's a common feeling, absolutely, when people are, because they feel like they put themselves, or they must have done something to deserve that kind of treatment or that experience.
And when I say you shouldn't feel that way, no, that it is understandable that you would have that feeling. Right. I understand that it's common, but it's tough to go to someone and say, actually, no, you shouldn't feel this way. This is not a logical conclusion after you've been through something that is so illogical and difficult.
What I think what was equally as jarring, or the same what you guys said, is because, as you said, Darren, Azalea's been so outspoken and so forthright and so upfront about how she feels about anything and everything. Even in performances, I've seen her perform a couple of times, and she's just such a brazen woman. Yeah. So for her to present this experience to us in that capacity, I believe her. I mean, I'm not saying no one doesn't believe her, but it's just it's as shocking as it is. And us knowing historically how she's been, it's just like, okay, obviously this is a woman who is a super powerful, or super, what's the word I'm looking for? Super confident. Now giving us this different side of her that we've never seen. So it was super alarming for me.
Right, it does feel like that moment where like you could be in a fight with someone and then something real happens and you're like, all right, let's put that aside. Put aside all the Iggy Azealia, all your different various beefs, and everyone seems to be rallying around here. I mean, what do you do next?
It's hard. It's hard to know and to piece that together. And what I was tracking this morning was if she was going to keep some of her concert dates that were upcoming, and it seems as though she will be. She told her fans that she would be performing, and she's going to be keeping her concert dates. And so perhaps diving into work is something that she feels will help her. But I really hope, and especially anyone watching at home, that should you go through something like this, that there are resources to help you and to seek counseling, get help.
Take the time you need.
Yeah. And take the time that you need, but also, if you feel so comfortable, if you have a good support system to report the individual or the individuals, which she didn't name in this, but I think that's sort of what's, I guess, we'll be looking out for. What is next? Like, will she be looking to press charges against someone? We don't know.
That's a great question.
Yeah, why do you think she deleted it? Because it was too
probably
raw?
too raw, or
Probably,
or maybe she probably. I mean, this is all speculation, of course, but with the whole Me Too movement and everything that's going on, maybe she probably felt that she was not maybe doing a disservice to other women. I don't know. Who knows? I mean, because maybe she feels some guilt for how she acted before, and now she felt like maybe I don't have the right to put my story out there like this. I mean, one could guess, one could speculate.
Yeah, I mean, things like when you hear like I was low-key raped, I don't think you can get low-key raped. It is and you can hear it in her voice. You can hear a genuine like appeal for help. And it's really, it's almost like a 911 call.
Yeah.
Where you just hear someone who is still in the thick of it and in the immediate aftermath when she's asking to get picked up.
Yeah.
And then you see, and the way that the Instagram stories play out is like, oh, now she is getting picked up. And now someone's on their way. I mean, what would you say to her? Like, what is
when normally when you talk to people who experience any kind of domestic abuse or violence of this nature, the first thing you should ask is, how can I help? What can I do? Because they're from my research, people are still in shock, and so they're not thinking clearly. So you kind of have to be their friend or their thought process for them. So I don't know.
And that might be in part why it was taken down, because she posted that in a moment of shock, perhaps seeking a connection. She obviously felt really alone, and then now she's processing things in a different way. The whole thing is just like, now I'm like remembering when she's saying that her friend is on the way, and then later on she says, actually, could someone call for help, or can someone pick me up? That part was really unsettling to me, and just like basically like a call in the night. You know, just like, will someone come get me?
And also how she describes it, how she describes this person coercing her, asking her multiple times. I think I can just imagine how uncomfortable that is. I think maybe not everybody, but I've been in situations where you're really, really uncomfortable, and someone keeps pressing you to do something, keeps asking you to do something. And I think a lot of people can relate to that. And unfortunately for her, it went one way. And I can understand how confusing that must be, to be like, okay, well, like I liked this person and this person liked me, so why would a person that likes me and cares for me, do something to hurt me? So it's very, very relatable in some ways to some people. And again, I really hope that she gets the help that she needs and takes the time that she needs to heal from this.